Yeah, so we're going to talk about forgiving a murderess. Should we actually forgive Dr. Michelle Dow for what she has so unjustly done, which is, of course, killing children. I mean, these babies are perfectly healthy. There is no medical necessity, or there's absolutely no just reason, or they're just a perfectly healthy baby boy or baby girl. It's a viable pregnancy, and because of these, birth control pills, the later stage of development in the implantation stage, the baby will, literally, lose his life or her life, which is an just not right. I mean, this is wrong. It's a crime. It is murder. So, I mean, the idea of forgiveness. I mean, forgiveness in this context is deeply challenging because it requires separating justice from personal resentment. So Jesus' command to forgive 70 times 7, we're going to look at that right now. It does not mean ignoring wrongdoing or allowing evil to go unchecked. Forgiveness is not the same as absolution. It does not mean Dr. Dow is free from consequences or that her actions are morally acceptable. So we're going to see that right now. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? 7 times, right? So let's say, for example, I were to ask, well, let's say, if Jesus was here right next to me, I would ask him, Lord, how many babies did I lose, and should I only forgive Dr. Michel for those 7 children that died? And that's the thing too, right? How many children died that are mine, right? How many of my children died, right? Is it 7, right? And 7 of my children died. And Jesus said unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7. The wisdom of Jesus is, even if you're not a Christian, I mean, you can admit that this is wise words. I'm talking about forgiveness here. So what is that going to give me? And I have to admit, man, my heart is I mean, she's living rent free in my head. I'm, exceedingly, angry at her for killing my children. I am. I mean, if you've ever had that, there's a murderer that killed your child. It's a horrible feeling, especially knowing that this person is my cousin. I mean, we share the same grandmother. She killed my child. Yeah. So it is something that I have to look forward into my heart is the day that I will, forgive her. Maybe that day could be today. Maybe. Well, let's continue. Let's continue with our notes here. So true forgiveness, as taught by Christ, is about freeing your own heart from hatred and resentment. Even while pursuing justice, forgiveness does not require the other person to repent. It is an act of the will, not of emotion. But reconciliation, which is different from forgiveness, requires repentance on the part of the wrongdoer. So if there was a type of reconciliation there, and, Dr. Michel would say, look, I'm really, really sorry. I admit that I either was grossly negligent and I didn't know the prescriptions that I was signing, or that I hid the fact from these underage girls that I didn't tell them that these were abortifacients. Either way, she's not going to admit any of that. She's just going to continue on. Well, maybe. Maybe she'll have a change of heart. See, the thing is, true forgiveness is not about her, right? It's about me. I need to forgive her with my own heart. In cases where someone refuses to acknowledge their guilt and even mocks the truth, justice must still be pursued. Everything that I said about the prosecution and she needs to go to prison, I mean, yes, I mean that is 100% true. Um, Christ forgave those who crucified him. They actually literally killed him, right? But he also rebuked the Pharisees and warned them of the judgment to come. There is a judgment, absolutely. At the end of your life, there is a judgment, and she will see the day where she's going to have to do a whole lot of splaining, right? If you know what I mean. Right? Why did you kill all these babies? Oh well, I wanted to make some money to have a brick mansion. What kind of life, what kind of legacy are you leading here, and what kind of explanation are you going to give when the books are opened, right? So seeking justice is not contrary to forgiveness. It is part of standing for truth. Well, so, let's say, for example, Jesus were to come today and say, do you forgive your cousin here for killing your child? Yes, yes. Yes. First of all, she's deceived into the cult of atheism, which was um, brought to you by the Jesuit priest Georges Lemaitre, and Georges Lemaitre was a Belgian, priest, and he's the one that basically, made this whole Big Bang theory and all this stuff that you all of a sudden you don't need the Bible anymore to explain, the origins of life and all this stuff. So the Big Bang theory will not really explain anything, but we're just gonna believe in it anyways. And it's a religion. Atheism is not, but a religion brought to you by Charles Darwin. And Charles Darwin has got his hand hidden in the jacket there, and a whole bunch of people will believe that we belong from we evolved from a monkey and all this stuff, and we're living on a big rock in the heliocentric space and all this stuff. But certainly that's not the truth. The truth cannot be verified. And that theory cannot be verified that we are the descendants of monkeys and all this stuff. So I mean, not very relevant to today's story here, but Genesis chapter 1, it says in the beginning God created in the heaven and the earth. So that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to be your babysitter if you are, however old you are, and you still believe in the doctrine of atheism and the doctrine that you're just a fool. I mean that there's nothing more that can be done for you. But certainly about forgiveness. Let's go back to forgiveness here. We're at Matthew chapter 18. So Matthew chapter 18 and verse 21 here, we do know that Jesus said, well, how many times, right? Is it seven, right? Should we forgive him seven times? If let's say, for example, somebody does seven bad things to you, the eighth you will not forgive him. Um, and what is the answer? From Jesus, basically unlimited forgiveness. This reminds me of Gary Ridgway. Gary Ridgway was a serial killer, and everybody was there, condemning him. You're the worst person. I hate you so much. And then there's this gentleman here, which he said, I forgive you. You are forgiven. He said, and it just went right into the heart of Gary Ridgway, which it was less of a murderer than Dr. Michel Dao. I mean, the Dr. Michel Dao, you have to understand how many people she killed. I mean, this is not a joke. I mean, this is a serious mass murderer on an industrial scale that we've never, any kind of generation in the history of humanity has never seen this amount of dead children, and it's snuffing out the life before they were able even to feel the heartbeat, the warmth of the blood rushing through their veins. That is how evil she is. So if you're not aware, the birth control pills do not prevent a pregnancy. The birth control pills do not suppress ovulation. They just kill the baby. The baby is conceived. The baby is a fully viable pregnancy. The baby boy or baby girl will be alive for a week and a half, and then later die. Right? So the woman will be pregnant, and these children are being killed, right? And it is a death. So at the end of the day, should I? And I'm not making this just for the video. I mean, I am seriously conflicted in my heart. I mean, should I just you know no, I'm not going to stop talking about it. I mean, I mean, for forgiveness in my heart. I mean, she killed my child. I mean, she killed my child. She killed my child. The mother of my the mother of my children was taking these pills, and all of a sudden there's no other children, right? So my kids don't have a sibling because of her, right? The baby died. um so I mean, forgiveness, I mean, yes, forgiveness. It's extremely annoying. It's extremely annoying. It's extremely annoying. No, just everything else, right? This is grief that I still have to go through grief. And that will never change, right? I lost my father. I lost my child. So I mean, there's grief there. I'm grieving, seriously grieving, right? She did a terrible, wicked thing to me, a really terrible thing, wicked thing to me. Should I forgive her? I mean, I will forgive her. Yes. It's very difficult. It's extraordinarily extraordinarily difficult to forgive such a wicked, depraved look. And she doesn't even care. Right? She doesn't care that I forgive her. She doesn't care that that I'm hurting so bad. She doesn't understand the reality of life. Right? She just believes into some sort of heliocentric space monkey, a grandfather. She literally believes into spinning space monkey grandfather, and that's the basis of her whole reality. Right? If your whole reality has been pounded into you by pharmaceutical medical school, these types of guys here that are hijacking the medical curriculum and all this stuff, which that's exactly what they did, right? And they will push these abortifacients, and for them a unique human life, it's nothing, right? They don't care about life. They just don't care. They just care about making the medical industry profitable. And certainly it's not a medical industry, and I should not be saying that. It's a pharmaceutical industry. But as for forgiveness, let's go back to what did this is a conversation between Jesus and Peter, right? So let's read this one more time because it's so important. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Till 7 times? And Jesus said unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7. Right? 70 times 7. What does that mean? Well, and that's why we're making this video. It's the endless forgiveness there, the endless forgiveness, and it is extraordinarily difficult. This is extraordinarily this is maybe the hardest thing that I've ever done, right? To forgive my own cousin for killing my child, right? And there was another issue before that, but that is nothing in comparison to actually killing my child. There were some, medications that caused some problems and all that stuff, and she did deny it and all that stuff. But I don't really care about that anymore. I just care about my child that died. So I will never forget my child that died, and I certainly will always, understand that she is culpable. There's guilt there, but if Jesus said, unlimited forgiveness, well, who am I to say, well, I'm gonna keep hating and being just man, it's hard. I mean, forgiveness is very, very, maybe the most difficult of all, especially when this bad of of an act, killing your own child, has been done. I mean, but it's forgiveness. Yeah, there's forgiveness, okay? And forgiveness, Dr. Michel Dao, if you're listening, wait, you don't listen to this. No, you don't care about this, right? But I don't even care that you don't care. I don't care that you don't listen. I don't care that you do a summary blanket dismissal of the entire matter, right? Forgiveness is not about reconciliation, right? There's never going to be any reconciliation. I don't believe when forgiveness is different than that. So. Yeah, sure. I will forgive Dr. Michel for killing my child in my heart. I mean, that doesn't mean that I'm necessarily going to, stop, talking about it and pursuing justice. But as for her, it's going to be a process. Forgiveness is certainly a process, but sure, forgiveness is. Very, very important. Not for her. I don't care about her. It's for me. I mean, forgiveness is important for me. And I think that I'm saying it, but I don't know if my heart is there yet. But certainly, it will be a work in progress. Forgiveness, I recognize the importance of it, but man, this is maybe I'm just saying it, just to make the video. But maybe, or maybe I am. Maybe I actually do mean it. Maybe I actually do mean it. I don't know. I don't know yet. I have to certainly think on this matter. I mean, forgiveness is, especially when she killed my child, man. It's so hard. But yeah, she is. She's she's forgiven. I forgive Dr. Michel Dow for killing my child.